Hey there, it's Clay with Modern Left Out Life, and in this video we're going to be talking about what to do if your ex is afraid of getting back together with you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel if that is something you'd like to learn more about, and if you do like these videos that I put out. Alright, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story here, and this is from the other side of the coin. Now, when me and my big ex were in the process of getting back together, the second time, we'll go with the second time because it's probably the most dramatic and interesting time that we got back together. But when we got back together, there was actually a part of me that was afraid of getting back together with her and giving our relationship another chance. So why was that? Deep down, I didn't know if we were actually going to be able to have a strong relationship with one another, or if we were just going to end up going back into the old patterns and habits that caused us challenges in the first place, you know, the cheating and all of that stuff. I mean, if you don't know the whole story of our breakup, I'm going to go ahead and link to my breakup story right up there. So go ahead and check that out if that's something that you want to learn more about. But if you're to take any lessons from this, you know, your ex is probably hesitant about getting back together with you because they, on one hand, admit that there is attraction and affection and love. But on the other hand, they're also probably present and aware of the challenges that the two of you faced when the two of you were together. And they don't want to just go back into those old habits and risk getting hurt again. So what we really want to do is we want to take a step back and we want to look at this from a perspective of the triangle of commitment, which is something we've talked about before in various videos. But basically there's three elements that if you can get them in place in your relationship, they're going to help your partner feel more connected to you and more bonded with you. And if you can do this in a situation where the two of you are broken up, that's also going to help to create more connection, more love, and all that sort of stuff. This has definitely helped a lot of people who have been in like a breakup sort of scenario as well too. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the first thing that your ex is going to need if they want to, if you want to inspire them to actually feel comfortable getting back together with you, is the two of you really need to be on the same team. Now, obviously, they may love you, they may feel attracted to you, but they don't necessarily know if the two of you have the same goals in life, or if you have the same things that you're working towards, or if you are just, you know, out to do whatever you want to do and to just, you know, seek whatever thrills or seek whatever feels good for you in the moment without any consequence or thought about what it would cause them to feel. And so what your ex really is going to need to know is that the two of you actually are on the same team. The two of you actually want the same things or maybe similar things. And if they're able to really get this and understand this, then they're going to be much more open and receptive to working cooperatively with you. You know, I've heard a lot of stories from a lot of people about why their relationships didn't work out or why they ended up breaking up. And one of the main common denominators is that the two people just weren't on the same team. And of course, not being on the same team can look obvious, like fighting and arguing and all that sort of stuff. But it can also look much more subtle as well too, like walking on eggshells around one another, or being defensive, feeling as if you need to withhold certain information or certain feelings or certain thoughts that you're having because you think it's going to rock the boat. It can involve all sorts of things like that, like scanning each other, trying to read each other for signs to see if you care or don't care, or interested or not interested, or cheating or not cheating, or whatever. Like, there's no reason you'd ever have to do any of this if this was someone that was actually on the same team as you. You just turn to your teammate and say, hey, is it just me, or is there something a little bit weird going on between the two of us? And you talk it out. So getting on the same team is, of course, the first important thing that you should be doing if you and your ex are not already doing that, and if they're afraid of actually getting back together with you. The second thing is you want to make sure that you're having good communication. Now, good communication, it's not just necessarily about what you say, but it's also about how it's received by the other person and also how you're receiving what they're saying. Because if you can do what you can do to communicate well, you're actually going to be minimizing these gaps of misunderstanding between the two of you. Misunderstandings, that's to say you think you're talking about one thing, they think they're talking about another thing. It can be really, really challenging for a relationship. One of the most common and maybe dramatic ways that people often do this is by having a different definition of what they think cheating means. So it's like, yeah, we're not going to cheat. Okay, well, what does cheating mean for you? Well, it means, actually sleeping with someone. Well, for me, it means, getting emotionally close to someone. And okay, oops, something happened. Someone got emotionally close to someone else. Now it's like, well, did you cheat? Well, I don't think I cheated. Do you think I cheated? Yeah, I think you cheated. Now there's this big whole thing. And so that's an example of a gap in understanding. And if we can minimize that gap, then we can have better communication. So communication is also something that's going to inspire more of that same team dynamic, and it's going to inspire more trust between the two of you. And that's going to help your ex feel more comfortable actually getting back together with you again in the future, okay? And the third element, by the way, if you like these videos, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, by the way. It really helps me out with YouTube. But the third thing you want to make sure you're focusing on as well too is trust. Now, I think most people know that trust is an important component in a relationship. I think that's like super commonly well-known knowledge. But trust, of course, needs time and effort to build up. You can't just build trust and just flip it on with the flip of a switch. You have to actually build trust up through consistent interactions. That's to say, consistently demonstrating that you're on the same team with one another, and consistently demonstrating that the two of you can communicate well with one another. And if that's something that you're able to do, then once a certain threshold is passed, then that trust switch flips on. That threshold is going to be different and unique for each person because, of course, each person has their own levels that they trust at. They have their own issues, their own baggage, their own whatever with the past. And so building trust is, of course, important, and it's a very critical element in getting the relationship that you want. So if that is something that you would like some help with, please go ahead and check out our course called Effortless Connection. It's over at modernlove.life/EC. E is in effortless, C is in connection. I'll also go ahead and put a link to it down below. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Up next, I would also recommend that you check out this video series here on emotional connection with your ex. These emotional connections are very powerful for creating a strong emotional bond that can help you to move through this triangle of commitment. So please make sure you check that out next.